Hey everyone, back today with another 1+ year review. Today is the Thompson Fat Pad. So, about a year ago, a little over a year ago, I wanted to replace my bench pad, partly because I didn't like the fact that it was gray in color. I'm a little cranky about uniformity in the color scheme. Two was because I was dealing with some elbow issues, and I had read that sometimes it has to do with bench. So looking into the Thompson Fat Pad by means of Donnie's Instagram, so Super D Donnie Thompson, as well as Rogue's website and some of the other places I look, people were claiming that the Fat Pad had fixed their cranky shoulders, elbows, you name it. So I figured, why not? I'll get the uniform look that I'm looking for, I'll get a new pad in general, and I'll potentially save myself some pain and some issues, especially down the road. So let's get into the differences here. I think the easiest way to compare the Fat Pad or show you what it's all about is to compare it to a normal pad. So this is the pad that actually came off of this bench frame. So this is a Tough Stuff flat bench. So certainly not any weak or funky pad or bench in general. This is actually a pretty legit bench. So let's go ahead and just throw this bad boy up here. And let's take a look. So first off, we can see, so the Fat Pad is just a little bit longer. Not much, that doesn't make a huge difference. But where it shines here is let's see, make sure we get it all lined up. We got a good, what's that, 4-6 inches about extra on the pad. We've also got, what's that, almost double in thickness. So this does a couple of things. So first off, you can see this presses down really easy, whereas this really doesn't. So this compresses. This is thin in general and thin from width. This is the exact opposite. So this allows you to do what every bench coach, article on benching, etc. asks you to do, which is actually bench using your back kind of thing. So get a nice arch, get nice support from your back, and bench. So I'll show you, I'm going to lay down on the main bench so you can see how the main bench almost completely disappears underneath me. Probably all but about here, whereas the Fat Pad still has some room behind me. So that allows you to really retract your scapula back. So you can do kind of one of these things, and bench like this, as opposed to when you're benching off of this thin, firm guy, you end up collapsing. So that's not good for your overall shoulder health. It's not good for your actual ability to press, to use your lats, to do everything that, again, you're supposed to do in a bench press. The other thing that we have here with the Fat Pad that's really important is the grip. So this is kind of slippery, especially when it gets wet. You slip slide around. It's not as easy to get that arch and to stick in place. Whereas the Fat Pad, you can see, it's kind of fighting me. See how that kind of goes and that sticks. It's this grippy material that you can see that holds you in place. So even when you get wet, even when it's sweaty and all kinds of things, you're deep into your sets, you're still going to stick where you want to. So when you get that arch, when you get your back up and tight and down, you're going to get a good placement and you're going to be held in place. Those are very important. The last thing you want when you're benching is to get nice and tight and in the right place, collapse, and then kind of scoot backwards. Not a good combination, again, for health, for everything like that. So then the other piece that I want to point out with this bench, so the Tough Stuff bench, you can see there's some scuffs. It's probably not entirely fair to compare because this is light gray, but you can also see there's just some dings and dents and scratches and whatever. This bench wasn't used anywhere near as much as this one is. This guy has pretty much zero. This would all wipe off if I actually did it. But this bench has been used for a little over a year in my gym. and there's pretty much no sign of wear and tear. Pull this guy off, and you can see it's nice and clean. There's no cuts, no tears, no dents, no dings, no nothing. The only thing I've had to do the entire time was I had one loose staple like in the corner here. I hit it with a hammer and we were done. So after a year, the bench is in great shape, looks good, solid. I highly doubt anything's going anywhere. The foam, the pad, everything is still doing what it's supposed to, so that's good. It does its intended purpose. In general, for me personally, I think my cranky elbow that I had was more of a work environment issue. I'm doing this kind of thing all day long, and so I really needed some soft tissue work on my upper back, my trap, those kinds of things. It wasn't as much my technique in my bench, but I also don't have any issues spending money, one, to support Donnie Thompson, two, to buy something that matches my gym, and three, to kind of put my faith in the concept that this is actually the correct way to bench as opposed to your normal pad. A couple of notes for you. One, if you're a female, this might not be the best approach. I have heard others say that they have a hard time getting set on this if you're a smaller individual. My wife actually lifting this bench, it's very heavy compared to your normal flat bench. Lifting it and getting it in place is part of her workout. So keep that in mind. If you're smaller, if you have multiple athletes, make sure that that works. Sorry guys, camera cut out. Okay, so the other pieces to consider are if you are a competitive power lifter, this is not competition spec, so keep that in mind. You may either need a second bench for your couple of weeks out to get your technique right, or spend a couple of weeks benching at a local gym. Also, consider that this bench, making it wider, makes it difficult for accessory work. So not necessarily dumbbell bench and stuff like that, it's great, but for things where you might be laying prone, it's a little funky, so dumbbell rear delts, things like that. It also isn't going to work on an adjustable bench. So if you have an FID, flat incline, decline, something like that, this is not going to work. This is a flat bench. This is meant for benching, and that's pretty much it. So as long as that's okay for you, you're a guy, you're a bigger guy, I do recommend the pad. No issues, no complaints. I'm not going back to a normal one anytime soon. So if you're interested in more, I have a full written review on Garage Gym Life, so Garage Gym Magazine, that will be out for this pad. So check it out there. Otherwise, check out the rest of my reviews. Let me know. Thanks, guys.